Hello, I'm cooperative divorce attorney Erika Englund.
And I'm certified family law specialist Matt Purcell.
And together we are Split Decisions, your divorce lifestyle network. Our goal here at Split Decisions is to help you live a better life in any ways impacted by divorce. And that could be, of course, your own divorce, from my mediator side and from your litigator side. We've got a lot of experience to help you. But also if you're a child of divorce or dating someone who is, or maybe have a friend or family member going through it, you can get lots of great information at splitdecisions.pro and on our Facebook page, Split Decisions. And today, in particular, we want to talk to you about something that's a question we get asked all of the time. And
Literally all the time.
All the time. We want to be able to clear up this really, really common question in 10 seconds for you. So Matt, when parents are going through a divorce and they're fighting over custody, you get asked often, I get asked often, well, how old does a child have to be before they get to choose who they want to live with?
18.
And somehow no one knows this. Why is it age 18?
Well, that's the age when children are no longer children. They actually get to be considered adults under the law, and they get to make their own decisions. Up until that point, they can have a say, certainly. They can often be interviewed by mediators, talked to by the court sometimes, if it's appropriate, and it's not always appropriate. They can certainly have a say, and whatever age they are, the more mature they are, the more reasonable their requests are, the more it will be considered. But do they ever get a final say? Do they ever just get to decide? Not until they're 18.
So prior to the time when they're 18, there's this sort of balance of how old is the child and how mature is the child, and then that is how much a court might take their opinion into consideration. But why don't we just allow the children to make a decision? If a child can articulate what they want, then what is it that stops us from thinking it's good public policy to just let them choose?
Well, as any child of divorce would know, it's a very difficult situation for a child to be in. If you're asking a child to go testify in court about who they want to live with,
but this seems like it's so empowering to the child. Let's give them the opportunity to choose. It sounds like a good idea in some ways. So what is wrong with it?
It's going to have a negative impact in the long-term relationship with potentially both parents, because you're asking a child to definitively say they prefer one parent over the other in front of the other parent. It's absolutely going to have a negative impact on that child's relationship with one or both parents.
Because you're choosing against one parent when you're choosing
picking one parent. Yes, exactly.
And a child, of course, is half mom and half dad, so it's quite conflicting to the child, him or herself, when they have to decide which part of themselves and their background that they're going to align with or turn away from.
And that's one of the standard orders in any custody case is a parent is not to speak ill of the other parent in front of the child, particularly because of that psychological development reason that a child feels hurt themselves when there's a negative comment made about another parent. So if you're asking a child to go up and actively participate in that, it can't be a positive experience.
It can be really damaging for them. This comes out of a conversation I had yesterday with a child that I met when I picked up my children from school. I had said something about going out to lunch with their dad, and he said, wow, you get along with their dad. I've been in court 8 times. And it just broke my heart. He said, it's really hard because my parents tell me I don't have to choose, but I feel like I have to choose. So even when we're putting the children in the situation where they're being interviewed by their own attorney or by a mediator, an old enough child must understand, right, that what it really comes down to is they need to articulate a position.
Exactly.
So it's still hard. So the bottom line is there's no age prior to 18 at which a child just gets to decide.
No.
And the reason why there isn't is that we believe that it's not good for the child to be put in a position where he has to choose one parent over the other. He has to choose against a parent and against her own background. For this reason, we do listen to a child's preference, weighted by their age and their maturity. But even then, just articulating a preference in mediation can be really difficult for children. So if you wanted to keep your children totally out of the courtroom process, then what's your option?
Try to be an effective co-parent. That's what all of custody comes down to. If you really want to limit the impact of your divorce and of a custody battle on the child, then you've got to act like an adult and try to stay focused on what's in the child's best interests in communicating with the other parent. It may not be the most comfortable thing, but it's something that you're going to have to do to make sure that your child is appropriately developing.
Adulting, as we say a lot on split decisions. So just a recognition that even if you're not directly putting your child on the stand, when you're involving them in co-parenting conflicts that are in court, this really is causing a lot of potential damage to your child. And the best way that you can avoid that is to not go to court in the first place by being an effective co-parent. If you can't be an effective co-parent on your own, that's okay. It's definitely not a skill that just comes naturally.
Absolutely.
Even just being a parent isn't a skill that came naturally to me anyway. So you can speak to a certified professional mediator. You can speak to a co-parenting coach, a divorce coach, a child specialist, a therapist to get assistance in how to create a better co-parenting relationship.
Absolutely.
Even if you are in court once, that can have a really lasting impact on your child. So try to stay out of court in the first place. And once you're in court, you want really effective assistance to be able to get your issue resolved and then be out of court in the future.
Agreed.
All right, so now you know the age at which a child can choose why, whether they want to live with their mom and dad, and why that age is not before 18. If you'd like more information, please check out our blog on this topic at splitdecisions.pro, and we'll see you next time.